Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. So, first of all, I would like to thank NCCI for hosting this event. I think uh, this is one of the most needed topics uh, that you have selected, and you're hosting it at the right time. To start with, uh, I will keep my presentation very brief and short as possible, and I'll not get into anything technical or theoretical. I'll not get into a lecture as such, but I'll try to get the best within the short 10 minutes that I have. Before I get into the processes, I think it's important for me to spend few minutes to talk about DSV. We are a Denmark-based organization, but I don't think many would know about DSV because if you at the opening sessions also there was a lot of reference to a lot of Nordic organization, but not to DSV, and that's because we are a very young organization still. We started off our journey in 1976 globally. So we are one of the very young organizations in the logistic industry still. And in Bangladesh, we started. We were incorporated in year 2000 with just 4 staff, and today I'm happy to say that we are attached to 212 families in Bangladesh, and we handle about 3,500 tons of air freight every month and 3,700 to 4,000 TEUs every month. So that's the size and scale that we are in Bangladesh at this moment. So that's a little bit about the company that I represent. So just in very brief, I would like to touch upon the immense changes that the industry is going through at this moment. And of course, with that, lot of challenges. And of course, with the challenges, there is opportunities also for logistic industry. Few major changes that the logistic and transportation sector is going through is the technological developments that is happening at the moment. And we had a separate panel discussion about this subject of digitalization. I'll touch upon few things that's happening and changing the total landscape of the logistics and transportation industry. Physical internet, of course, everybody is aware about this, but still, I think we are not getting the maximum out of the physical internet even now. Maybe we started off this journey 2 decades back, but still, I think we have lot to take out of even physical internet. Although we talk about blockchains, although we talk about other different technological developments. So physical internet has helped us to bring improved supply chain transparency and efficiency. It has brought logistic service providers, customers, suppliers more closer. Then we spoke about the blockchain, which is one of the latest developments that's happening. Now that has enhanced supply chain security, reduction of fraud, and also it has helped to reduce a lot of the bottlenecks. And of course, we spoke about going paperless, going complete paperless as one of the ultimate objectives of the blockchain. But again, the question is rate of adoption. That's the biggest question. Are we meeting the there's a lot of discussions, lot of awareness being created, but still, I think the rate of adoption is very slow and uncertain to a certain extent. Then robotic and automation is another area. Of course, with this, we'll be able to reduce a lot of human interactions, and of course, lower cost basis, and of course, ultimately achieve efficiencies in delivery and warehouse. Again, concern on this is the speed of technology development still unclear, but we see a lot of things happening on this robotic and automation. 3D printing, of course, this will reduce global transportation activity, but this is where the world is heading. But again, the uptake of this technology by the customers, time will tell. Different industries are at different stages in the life cycle of uptake in these new technologies. Then we spoke about the customer expectations at different panels in the morning also. New shopping patterns by the consumers and the organizations also. Naturally, expectation is to have cheap logistic service and also green. That's a challenge that the industry is facing. That's a challenge the service providers are facing. And but that's the reality, and that's the customer expectation, and that's the new normal that we have to face. And how well one deal with that will determine the success, I guess. So new business models is another area that is being discussed. E-commerce, and of course, during COVID and pre-COVID, a lot of the new business models have come up. A lot of startups have come up with various platforms, and also last mile delivery is making a lot of revolution in the logistic industry as we speak. Challenges in the industry today that we face, we saw some drastic changes in the demand and supply during COVID and post-COVID. And that disrupted the global supply chains in big way. And today, the inflation that a lot of the countries going through, even the first world countries that is going through at this moment of time, is due to the global disruptions that we had during COVID and post-COVID. And that's the fact. And that's what we are facing. And of course, the uncertainties with the war and all that is another matter to discuss. But the disruption that demand and supply, the changes, the variation that took place in the demand and supply during COVID was one major reason for these disruptions in the supply chain that today we are seeing. Cost is a big discussion point in the logistic industry at this moment of time. And that's one reason why this industry has got attention that we have never had before. Maybe pre-COVID days, nobody would talk about the logistic industry or the transportation sector. But today, with the escalation of the cost, everybody has a focus on the logistic industry. And I think we as an industry in Bangladesh and globally need to use that opportunity to create better efficiencies in the whole system, which will help us to pass on that benefit to customers and ultimately to the global consumers. Infrastructure, I think we can categorize it to two different areas, soft and hard. We spoke about the hard infrastructure. We talk about the developments, the government interest and focus towards developing seaports, airport in the country, and the projects that are in place, which is good to see. And that's good progress as far as Bangladesh is concerned. But on the soft infrastructure side, I think we as an industry can do a lot of things, and that's where processes comes in, and that's where we as industry need to create that awareness among the local policyholders on how to bring in that soft infrastructure that is required for development of this sector. So just to touch upon few points on what is holding us back. This industry, if you look at the hard infrastructure that we spoke of, need a lot of high financial investments. So that's holding us back to a certain extent. And also we need to, as an industry, we need to create awareness among the policymakers and the government and different stakeholders that what impact that this industry can make to the economy and, in large scale. So that is a responsibility we as an industry have to create that awareness. I think we are not doing enough of that. This kind of gatherings will help us to create that awareness. And I think this is a good step forward towards that. So that's maybe it's a starting point, and maybe we can have many more discussions about it. And then we'll be able to create that awareness. And also we need to quantify that. It's important to quantify that. And this morning on the FDI investment, the direct capital investment session that we had, there was few questions raised on how much is the FDI on the logistics sector. So the answer was not very clear as such. So it's important that we quantify what is the benefit that we can create to the larger economy, and what kind of investment that the investors can make, and also what opportunities, what areas that the investments can come in, and where on which areas that the government will facilitate those. Digital culture, I think we had a separate session on this, so I will not go into that too much. Resource and expertise. I think it's important that we bring in the best practices of the globe into the country. And we as multinational has a responsibility towards that. And many more sitting in this room attached to various sectors of logistics, global logistics, has a responsibility towards that. Let it be in financial terms, let it be in soft side of infrastructure, like the processes that we are supposed to discuss on this session, and let it be on human capital. Does not matter, but we have to have the best in class in the country, and that will help us to take the industry to the next level. I'm always going. So just getting into the processes, the subject matter, I've spoke more of the general outlook of the logistic industry and what Bangladesh can do better and how we can support the policy. So we are running off time also, I think. So I'm getting a notice. So I'll just very quickly run through it. The problem is that we need to have a very processes are important, because when you have the correct processes in place, only we'll be able to make the improvements. And without that, there'll be no improvements that will be made. And we spoke about digitalization, but then on the session itself, that then it was highlighted that the bill of lading is digitalized only 0.1%, even at this stage of time, when we are talking about blockchain and every other aspect of digitalization. So long way to go. Still, we can work on basic processes. I think that will make a big difference to the way we work. And for a country like us, we can do that, and that will have an impact on our overall bottom lines. So the challenge is, I think first we need to understand that we need to make changes, and there has to be a willingness from the stakeholders, from the industry, from the policymakers. And without that willingness and without a proper measurement of the progress, we will not move forward. We can be talking about it every year, but only then we can have that real impact coming in. The results are immense. I don't have to talk about it, and because I don't have time also, the efficiency savings and the growth for the economy is immense through this. So what we need to focus on is, first thing is, let's get that importance towards the industry. I think that's, as an industry, that's what we need to do. We need to get attention towards us from the policymakers, from the government. And we as an industry has not done that enough, I think. We need to get that attention. And if we can do that, then I think we'll make baby step towards the success. We'll take baby steps towards the success. Investments, I mean, I don't have to talk about it. It's needed. Bring in expertise, I spoke about it. Eventually you will get efficiencies, and that can do wonders. And all of this will help to create that transparency. And then that's the point that we can really get the benefits of the technologies coming into the industry. Till then, we have to get the basics right. And if we do that, even we can make a lot of progress. I'll close with that. So I think we as a country have come a long way. We are in the right path, but we all need to remember that what got you here won't get you there. And this is not my quote. This is from a book, but this came up at several discussions at a different session also. But this is with this statement, I would like to close my session. Thanks.